What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life. This is a way of life.
Hey, BALLBUSTERS, Bates here with your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, and it's time to kick back, drink some beers, and babble on episode 18 of Way of Life Live. So, how you doing over there?
Barely alive. I think that's my cue. That's my new one, at least.
Yeah, you must be all kinds of fucked up right now. And not
the least.
Not a good kind of fucked up, like.
Oh yeah, just flat out fucking awful fucked up. I'm in between sleep right now. Like started a new job this week, which has been tiresome. And in order to make this work, because I work at 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to sleep partially during the day, wake up, write my ass off for a show, and perform the show in this beautiful way, and then go back to sleep after the show ends. So this is gonna be an interesting one.
You know, and I told you I would not have had an issue just doing the show solo or finding a guest host this week until you got your body on more of a regulated fucking routine with these new hours. Even though, let's be honest, they're not that different from your previous hours.
Oh no, definitely not. Like, if anything, I'm up maybe 4 or 5 hours more than I'm normally, or like when I have a bad day. But the physicality of the job is what's really wearing me down, and like just the minute I wake up from sleep, I'm looking forward to going back to sleep, and it sucks.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you're the most fucking broken person I know with the most asinine schedule imaginable.
Yeah, that's very true, and I don't know when it's gonna catch up to me. You know what I mean? Like I've for so many years, this has been like a doable schedule, and I was able to bounce back and forth between, like sleeping during the day, sleeping at nighttime, and the transition would be pretty seamless. But nowadays, like it takes me like a whole fucking week to rearrange my schedule, and this one just it knocked me for a loop.
Yeah, well, as I said, you'll eventually find your fucking rhythm with your dumbass schedule. I'm sorry to call it that, but it's a dumbass schedule. But it's the type of shit you actually prefer in a weird way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it has its perks. I like the fact that by 8 hours, it's noon. So, when I get home, it feels like a 5 o'clock. The day feels really late. I'm completely out of whack, but it does feel nice that I have the afternoon, presumably, to do what I want. And, I'll get there. That or I'll find a new job, which that's also an option. That's a very high option, actually. But, one of these days I'll finally find my rhythm and work it out.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. As I said, I mean, if you need to take a week off, I'll make sure we don't miss a week here. And as I said, I'll get somebody to fill in for you. I mean, maybe that could be the week. I get my buddy Mad Eye in here.
Look at you trying to kick me off the boat.
I'm trying to help you. I am trying to help you out.
You're like, I do not like this co-host, and I'm getting rid of him. I can't wait to get this little animation away from me.
Hey,
my box on the.
Hey, I'm just saying because there might come a time. So one of the weeks in April, I'm thinking maybe the second or third week, if I'm between moving shit into my house, like there may not be a way for me to do the show.
Look at you. Yeah, no, we'll work stuff out. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to diving into some pre-recorded things, just so we have some content in a week or in a time that we have to possibly, bail a week or whatever. I mean, our real lives come and get in the way sometimes. So we want to make sure that you have an episode of something. So hopefully within the coming weeks, we're gonna have like a better game plan for that.
Yeah. pretty much.
What
But
have you been up to?
just fucking work and house shit.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
No, met with a contractor and project manager on Tuesday. Went over a ton of shit. They're starting trim and doors and cabinets this week. And
Very nice.
I spent like $7,000 on appliances.
Even better.
So,
That sounds fun. I mean, I'd imagine it's just great watching that money dwindle as you're remodeling your home, but at the same time, kind of exciting, just because you're getting it exactly how you want now.
Well, that's only half of what I spent. I spent another 63 or 6,400 on furniture the previous week.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know that's been ongoing for a few weeks now, but man, like it's one thing buying a house that's furnished. Like you kind of have to deal with that end table you might not have liked too much, but now it's going to be like full. Not only is the house itself going to be fully tailored to you, but so is the furniture. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got some nice pieces. The fucking sectional I got for our living room. Oh my god, dude! When you sit in that shit, you're never gonna want to get up.
Looking forward to it.
It is just like it sucks you into like a deep dark abyss of comfort. That's
what she said.
Yeah, no, it is a wonderful sectional. I was sitting on it in the store, and I was like, this is it. Like I wish I could put it down in the basement, but it's living room furniture. It's not basement and bar furniture.
Hey, it exists in your house, so I mean, whether we're downstairs or upstairs, it really doesn't matter. Maybe we'll throw together another podcast, Tales from the Comfortable Couch or some shit. I don't know.
There'll be some good furniture in the basement. I already have the piece that I currently have in my little living room right now is going in the basement, and I'm buying another matching piece for it. Plus the game table, the shuffleboard table, the bar,
and most importantly, the little recording area that we're gonna be doing some more Metal Beer horror and Lord knows what else.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just set up all that shit on the game table.
Very cool. I mean, that's gonna be perfect.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and then just getting ready for next week. I mean, we're what, 9 days away?
Yeah, I feel utterly unprepared for Monster Mania. Way less prepared than I wanted to be. But hey, you roll with the punches.
I
am off though. I have that confirmed.
Yeah, I put in my day off today. I should get that approved tomorrow when my boss comes back to work. So
mine's all approved. The only problem that I have is that Sunday is going to be interesting because when we finally make our way home, I'm going to have to go to sleep because I work 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, but it's not like we get home late on Sundays. We get home, what? Between 12 and 2 o'clock.
That's not the issue. The issue is me partying and doing whatever we usually do at these conventions. And, that's going to take a bit of a toll on me, as well as the awkward sleep change. So I'm going to be riding the high of the weekend when I get home, and I'm not going to want to go to sleep. So it's going to be, I think that's going to be one of those NyQuil days.
Yeah, a shot or two in NyQuil, you'll be good to go.
Hopefully I'm able to wake up.
Speaking of your job, are you able, because I know you had lots of leeway at the arena, are you able to like throw in your earbuds and listen to podcasts and shit?
I'm like warming up to that idea. I've seen other people do it. So, I'm going to ask around and see how that works. Hopefully I can, because it's a mind-numbing job, and I'd much rather listen to, Kevin Smith make me laugh or something, or our own shit to test out. So here's hoping.
All right, because I uploaded episode 3, so you need to go through that and just give me your okay. Also, I need the image for episode 2.
Look at you doing the business right here. Calling my ass out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have to. I was gonna throw it together yesterday, but sleep happened. And also I have to kind of like look through or skim through the episode again. The whole episode is fine as edited, but I need to skim through it again just so I have a general idea of what images I'm going to be using. So I'll have that to you at some point. Maybe tomorrow.
All right, because I mean we're pretty much in we're in that zone for when episode 2 should be coming out.
Yes, I think we're gonna release it this Friday if all goes well.
All right, cool.
So yeah, look for that. If you haven't listened to the first episode of Metal Beer Horror, go to our channel right here and check it out. It's a pretty cool episode. As we said previously, the sound quality it leaves a little bit to be desired, but that was our first time recording non-remotely. We were all there in person in Bates' kitchen, and we basically had a great conversation, learned the new equipment, and from episode 1 to episode 2, you're going to notice a drastic sound difference. From episode 2 to episode 3, which is going to be released next month, midway point, there is even more drastic sound difference. So bear with us as we get all of our settings and things organized. But we hope you enjoyed the first episode and the second episode coming this week.
Yeah, he pretty much hit everything there.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I got a hiccup from beer.
Good. Is the episode over yet? I'm tired. I'm kidding.
You'll perk up.
I don't have beer. I have coffee. What else is new, though?
Yeah, well, you need to go to sleep in a few.
Yeah, that shit. Coffee doesn't get me like that. Like, if I have, like, a coffee with a shot of espresso or 2, that's when I kind of, like, bounce off the walls. But regular coffee puts me to sleep.
Gotcha. All right, guys, so let's get into today's episode, and let's just jump right.
We have a shocker today, man. We have no Monster Mania news.
Yeah, I know. Nobody else canceled. Nobody else got added. It's gonna be weird, but let's go ahead and jump right into horror news. All right, so the 40th anniversary of Halloween. There is an event planned for October. I can't fucking A, man. You believe that? 1978. It's fucking 40 years already.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, like, it basically shows how quickly time is going. Like, I remember getting the 25 years of terror documentary or whatever, or 30 years of terror, one of the two, and like in a blink of an eye, 10 years passed, and here we are at another landmark.
And you know what? Every so often it happens with a band or an album or a movie, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna die soon."
Yeah. Seriously, like when I found out that, or when I've come to the realization that Jurassic Park was released like well over 20 years ago. Yeah, that hits me right in the, I don't know,
feels.
Like it shows my mortality. Like it's fast approaching. It's such a weird feeling to realize that what feels like yesterday is 20 plus years ago, and in this case, with Halloween, 40 years is the 40-year mark is happening very soon.
Yes, and they have announced that some type of special event will be happening in October. in Pasadena, California, where the original movie was filmed. There's no details on what the event is going to entail, but there will be something. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm sure there's going to be cast from the original movie are all going to be there. Probably a screening of some sort, maybe some events.
Well, the guy that's running it is Sean Clark, and a lot of people might know him as the guy who did the tours in Horror's Hallowed Grounds, and over the years I believe he became a convention promoter. He represents many of the stars that are on the convention circuit, and so more than likely, you know, like all signs are pointing toward a giant Halloween convention like they've done previously, and you know, those are special. You know, these conventions bring stars that you didn't even know were still alive, or you didn't know what rock they hid under. One in particular was Nick Castle. I believe he was in charge of getting Nick Castle back onto the Halloween scene after years of not being associated with the series for a while. So you know, it's interesting to see what these promoters do for these giant events, and they're always something special.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, obviously, it's not something we can attend. It's on the other side of the country, and the West Coast is not really my favorite place to go. So, you know, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of coverage. I'm sure some of the bigger websites will be there covering it in some capacity. At least I would hope so. It's such
Yeah,
a
definitely. Usually these things are very star-studded, and it attracts all sorts of publications and, you know, fans alike. So I would love to be there personally, but if all goes well, I'm aiming for Fantastic Fest out in Austin. Then maybe, hopefully, could have a Dead Entertainment presence out there and check out the new horror movies that are coming out. But if I like had the utmost freedom, I would definitely be in Pasadena as well. But you know, life happens.
you're gonna brave Fantastic Fest, huh?
I'm certainly gonna try. I regretted not going last year, and I had a path there, the most smooth path possible.
You have a path to everywhere. All right.
Yeah, most smooth path possible.
All right. Let's not go that far. You had a path, but that is not a smooth path.
I mean, like the flight might have been smooth. I don't know, but in any case, I could have went. I didn't, and now that the website's up and running, and we're always looking to try to, you know, beat other horror publications to the punch on certain things, which we do often for a little site. I would love to go out there and check out some of these movies before many of the other people do, and throw reviews together and maybe interview some of the filmmakers and things like that. So hopefully between now and next October, we're going to be a little bit bigger than we are. And by we, I mean Dead Entertainment and Way of Life Network. So, you know, fingers crossed, maybe we could represent ourselves out there a little bit.
Yeah, represent.
Word.
Well, I think next week at Monster Mania, the coverage we're going to try to be pulling together, I think that's really going to boost our social presence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just getting our names out there a little bit, talking with people, familiarizing people with what we're doing. I think that's going to be a great start to really get our names, you know, out there and on people's thoughts. And it's very old school, and you know, the hitting the pavement like that is very rarely done these days. Everybody thinks, let me just spam every Facebook account known to man, and that's good enough for promotion. Getting out there, talking to people, hitting the streets, I mean, that's the best way to go, and we're going to be doing that all of next weekend.
Definitely, and I think I'm going to start reaching out to some of the vendors that I know to discuss, you know, possible interviews for Dead Entertainment. Do some vendor interviews, and there's going to be a lot of new vendors there this year because the tables filled up so quickly. A lot of the regular vendors did not get a table, so there's actually going to be a lot of new vendors there, and I'm hoping to see, you know, one or two cool new vendors, and you know, I'm going to ask them on the spot if they'd be willing to do an interview.
That's gonna be great. I mean, just getting to see some familiar and non-familiar faces, and just like hear their story a little bit. You know, it might not sound like it's an interesting thing, but these people travel all across the country to you know, vent, you know, to sell people things. You know, they have their own stories, their own things, and they're the lesser known people of the convention. So I think it'd be interesting to hear some of the wild stories that happen. You know, some of them not so wild stories. One thing that I'm interested in doing is going around and just talking to people at the convention. We always kind of like hang out at the front of the convention once the night kind of like winds down, and there's always some drunk and fun and rich and interesting people, or Alex Vincent chain smoking outside the convention. You know, like it's always something going on outside. So if we have a camera, a recorder, you know, it's going to be fun to just go around and see if people want to talk to us and just, you know, share their favorite con memories or whatever they want to talk about. So,
Dude, I know someone we can interview because I know he'd be okay with it for a few minutes. You know who I'm
is he
thinking?
blue?
Oh, he's
Is he
blue,
blue?
right? You know he's blue.
Yeah, and he's always there too.
He is always there, and he's so friendly and personable.
That would be excellent. For
Uh,
those of you who don't know who we're talking about, basically the Blue Meanie, who is a former WWF or WWE wrestler, but
ECW
most
original.
notably known for ECW. He is a Philadelphia native, and he's a big horror fan. So, oddly enough, while I was at the convention once, I guess like we could talk about this a little bit more later, but I just happened to be walking by, glance at some dude with blue hair, and I'm like, huh, that looked like the Blue Meanie. And I was like, wait a second, is that really the fucking Blue Meanie? And I turned around and I said, Meanie? And he's like, hey man, what's going on? Like, you never know who you're going to run into at these things.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, he would be kind of fun just to interview real quick. You know, get a couple quick questions. Nothing wrestling related. I'm sure he gets enough of that shit. He comes there to enjoy the horror and the convention. So, well, you know, I figure we could ask him a couple of just generic and fun horror questions. I think he might actually like something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm curious myself. Like, what horror movies does the Blue Meanie like? You know, that'd be interesting to me.
He likes The Green Room.
Well, who doesn't? That movie was fucking awesome.
That it was. All right, so yes, there will be an event, 40th anniversary for Halloween, sometime in October. Once we learn more on the event, we will let you guys know here. We will be covering it over on deadentertainment.com. But alas, we will not be there unless the website brings in lots of money from somewhere and wants to fly me out. I'll go. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, who knows what could happen? You know, we're planning a few things here and there. We might hit the big jackpot or whatever you want to call it. Doubtful, but you know, who knows? We'll see.
All right, moving on. Blair Witch Project television series in the works over at Lionsgate.
I like that little sigh in there. Like, they keep trying with this franchise, but who knows if it's gonna work.
All right.
The remake didn't, as far as I know.
Well, all right. So that actually wasn't a remake, though. It was a.
Well, I mean, it was a sequel. They called it, but it danced the line of remake territory from what I've heard. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet because I mean, Blair Witch Project was fun and all back in the day, but I never really got into it too much. I still haven't even seen the sequel, Part 2, which I hear is better than the original.
It's awful.
Really? I heard that Part 2 was pretty great.
Listen, with this series, which I am not a fan of, first of all, I'm not a fan of almost any found footage movies. There's maybe one or two that I really enjoy. The rest I can't stand.
Agreed. Same here.
And this was the movie. Blair Witch Project was the movie that fucking like kicked off this found footage type style of filming.
Technically not the first, though. Cannibal Holocaust gets that title, but Blair Witch is basically the movie that launched it into, you know, like
its own genre.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically what turned it into its own genre. All right.
Agreed.
Now, this movie was filmed for peanuts. and cleaned up at the box office. Probably in terms of profit over what they spent on the movie, it's probably one of the top movies of all time in terms of how much money it turned profit-wise.
Agreed. And it was groundbreaking marketing. You know, like there was just this weird word of mouth going around about this movie that is probably real, and a bunch of people filmed it out in the woods, and nobody's ever heard from them again, and they're showing the footage. And back then there was this like crazy word of mouth going around about everybody, like a morbid curiosity. Like people wanted to go and see this thing, like they were going to go see a snuff film of some sort. And you know, like you think to yourself back then how you could like buy into all that hype when they're advertising it on television. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a little bit weird. I mean, granted, nowadays people would probably advertise a snuff movie and get away with it, but back in the what was this, like the mid '90s, late '90s,
1999.
Yeah, so late '90s. You know, like we were certainly gullible, but people ate it the fuck up.
So this movie came out 1999. People absolutely went ape shit over it. All right, they caught lightning in a bottle in the best way, and fucking it was huge. Then we got the sequel, and I don't know where you heard the sequel is good. The sequel's awful. All right, the sequel is absolute dog shit.
I heard that you know, they shifted from the found footage style and it made it a movie. I heard it was good because it dived, it took a dive into like the Blair Witch's history. Again, this is just what I've heard.
I mean, it's sitting at a 4.0 on IMDb. All right, this is not a good movie.
Fair enough.
So you had the first one, lightning in a bottle. The second one, the bottle broke, lightning got away, and they stepped on the glass.
Yeah, then it was a while before they decided they were going to do anything again.
And that's fine. And that's
the next
what
one was Blair Witch, right?
Yes, and that's what you needed to do at that point. You fucking crash and burned on the sequel. Good. Put it to bed. Let it die right now. Bring it back when people least expect it. Boom. That's what they did with Blair Witch.
Except they didn't really tread new ground, from what I've been told.
I don't know. I didn't see it, so I cannot give a educated opinion on the movie. But I can say that obviously, I think it kind of treads middle ground. Like it wasn't hated, but it may not have been loved. I think people love the aspect that the movie just came out of nowhere. Nobody knew about it. It was never announced. It just fucking like boom, it came out.
Yeah, that was the most exciting thing for me, because there was rumors that Blair Witch was gonna like kind of get a reboot of some sort, and it was coming down the pike, but nobody really knew when it was gonna happen. And then, bam, surprise! Here's a Blair Witch movie, and it's coming out within the next month or so. Like it slammed us right in the face, and by the time it was released, nobody really had a chance to really catch their breath on the whole excitement of it. But I feel like once it was released, it just kind of fizzled out. You know, the moviegoers hit the theaters, saw it, and they were like, "Oh, that was a thing," and then they moved on with their lives.
Yeah, it's very similar to how, you know, Saw took its 8, 9, 10-year break, came back, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that was a new Saw movie. All right."
Yeah,
next.
we didn't really need that, but all right, that was cool, I guess.
No, what we needed was my Saw movie.
Yes, I completely agree. That's why, like, I didn't even see the new Saw movie yet, because I'm like,
I ruined it for you.
Yeah, you totally did. But like, all right, so back to Blair Witch real quick. Like, a TV series has my interest, as long as it's not a found footage TV series.
Yeah, I would not be able to deal with that on a weekly basis. I'd be punching my TV.
No, like, I could understand like taking a weekly episodic documentary type of thing, but once they dive into the territory of shaky cam and running around and like up the nostril shots, I'm not really interested.
Now it seems that horror franchises in today's world are all moving towards television series, and with all of the available formats that are loving the idea of these horror series and picking them up and then allowing the series creators to go fucking balls to the wall, hard R's with these series. The television shows are the way to go. Ash versus Evil Dead, that's a hard R all day, and fans absolutely love the show. We're actually going to talk about it in a little bit. I should have kind of made that the segue, but I fucked that up.
I was like, here we go.
Obviously we have a Child's Play television series in the works that's been greenlit. We're going to be getting that. Now this show, we had already gotten Hannibal and Bates Motel. Now those shows weren't hard R's. They were sort of like hard PG-13, maybe.
I want to say, like, Hannibal was fucking hard R on a network television. Like, I've seen a woman's body split into pieces without it like cutting away on that show. It was brilliant with what the creators got away with on network.
Well, what was funny was I just finished season 5, the final season of Bates Motel, and that show was always like a hard PG-13, maybe in some areas like a really soft R. And in TV shows nowadays, saying shit and stuff is not a big deal anymore. They're usually allowed 1 or 2 shits per episode, depending on the network. So hearing that and seeing some blood and seeing, maybe the tiniest bit of gore, that's nothing new. But I was watching the final season of Bates Motel. There were 1 or 2 episodes where Norma actually said fuck.
Yeah, like we're moving into a territory where we're allowed to do that, or they're allowed to do it after a certain time, and I think that's where they got away with it. What channel was that on? History Channel or
it was A&E, wasn't it?
A&E. That's right. History Channel was something else, but yeah, no. After a certain amount of certain time, they're allowed to kind of like go into that territory, but I'm of the opinion that like censorship is bullshit, and we really shouldn't have to worry about that stuff, especially as creators. And I think it's it adds to the legitimacy of the show. Like it gives it a more natural vibe. But I would limit Rob Zombie if he ever went to television, to say the least.
Yeah, he would have to be on a network like Starz. I mean, there's no other network that would be able to tolerate his writing.
Exactly. HBO would even be like, all right, listen, we have to talk.
But yeah, it's crazy when you think about that and how far we've come in television shows, but it's also really fucked up in a way. And I'm gonna explain to you why. So we'll have shows where we can get blood and a little bit of gore on network channels and stuff, and we can get some light cursing, we can get some shits, and apparently now a fuck or two. But God forbid, in one of these shows, if a character called like another trans character in the show by like the wrong pronoun, oh good God, there'd be a fucking crusade. But shits, fucks, blood, rape, that's all good, but you better use the right pronoun. Don't fuck with that shit.
I mean, it's
really a weird world we live in, guys.
Completely agree. And it also goes network to network, with what they're allowed to do and what the network's willing to do. It's a weird situation that's basically completely led by advertisers and what advertisers are able to get away with, and even what you just said regarding like the right pronoun, like something like that could take an advertiser and turn them slightly off to the idea, or slightly off to the show and make them make a change or something like that. So like it's bizarre when you look at the bigger picture of things.
Yeah, it's but with this type of show, well, I don't even know what type of show it's going to be, but with this type of franchise, I just don't see enough there for longevity.
I disagree. I think if they shot the show similarly to that show Salem that was out for a while, or might still be out, that's it, make it a regular live action type of show. Add documentary and found footage elements to it, and kind of really flesh out the mythology of what this witch is. You know, I mean, don't necessarily kick open the door and be like, "Look at the witch. This is what the whole thing is." But like, stretch everything out, and maybe even bring in a crop of people every season or something like that, and you'll learn a little more about it. Or they could even go the Channel Zero route and make every season a different story, but obviously like tie it together with the Blair Witch lore in certain ways. Like each season could reveal a little bit more, or kind of like maybe a different era or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of fun ways that they could go about it, but right now we don't know what those ways are going to be, like how they're going to approach it.
I think I just don't see enough material there to really keep going, especially. I mean, we don't know if this show is going to be 30-minute episodes, hour-long episodes. It better be 30 minutes. There is not enough there to do hour-long episodes. And
that's the beautiful thing about not having a lot of story. Now the playing field is completely open. You've got the acorns of what the Blair Witch Project is in the 3 movies that it spawned. Now you bring in some creative people to really flesh out what isn't told. You know what I mean? There might not be things right this second that could warrant an hour-long show or something, but you bring in some fucking fans of the show and like the people that have enjoyed the movie franchise since 1999, and in their head kind of like, I guess, illustrated what the Blair Witch lore could be, or what exactly was out there in the woods and things like that. And I think the sky's the limit at that point, because you just create it as you go along. But currently, I agree with you. There's not a lot to go on. But if you give the right creative people the power, you could have a good show in your hands.
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't want to make it a slow crawl or a slow slog. Because
yeah, without a doubt, not on television. That doesn't work anymore.
Because think about it, we've already had big name popular shows that are fucking slogs when you think about it. I mean, look at Game of Thrones. Look how long it took for a lot of good shit to happen in that show. All right, but that's a show that's got dragons and titties every 6 seconds. So if they're
how long does it take Daenerys to cross the sea to Westeros? I mean, come on.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Not this season, though.
But like, so you have slogs, and I enjoy Game of Thrones, but the show is a fucking slog. All right, now you can't have a show. You can't have the Blair Witch TV series try to do something like that where they're gonna do all these slow reveals. I just don't think fans are gonna fucking hang around for it. I mean, I could be wrong. There are passionate Blair Witch fans out there that are probably shitting themselves over this show, but it just, again, it needs the right creative team, like with anything.
Agreed. And on top of that, you need good characters. If you put a bunch of 20-something unlikable people and have them wander around the woods, the show's just not going to work. Add some interesting character elements, add interesting people, good actors, actresses, and just, let them use the Blair Witch Project as a canvas to paint the story on. And I think if the right puzzle pieces fell into place, it could be interesting. But I mean, it is television, it is film studios and rights owners and all that nonsense, and usually the creative aspect just gets like, oh well, just do what the movies did but on television, and it gets chalked up into that.
Well, I guess we'll see. As this has just been released, there's no news on it right now. It's I guess it's just a strong rumor. I guess you could say that it looks like it's definitely trying to happen, but I don't think anything's been greenlit yet.
Yeah, I think it's in the early stages of development, and I guess we'll see. It's in the works at Lionsgate, and not to dive too much into it, I just recently read an article that the owners of Lionsgate are looking to shop the company around. So if a potential sale happens in that, you could pretty much kiss projects that are in development goodbye, because that's a whole nother story.
So I guess we'll see. Personally, I don't think this show's gonna happen, but I'm usually wrong about a lot of things. But we'll follow it as news happens and news keeps being released. We'll talk about it again on here as if anything big comes out of it, and we'll be updating on Dead Entertainment again. So just keep that in mind if this is something you're interested in. I'm not. I could care less about Blair Witch. But as I said, there are a lot of passionate fans for that franchise, so it's definitely something we'll follow. So moving on, Ash vs. Evil Dead has made its triumphant return with episode 1 of season 3 on Sunday night. Now, I am all caught up with the show. I have seen seasons 1 and seasons 2, but I am not currently subscribed to Starz, so I cannot watch season 3. And I will probably wait until it gets released on Netflix before I watch it, because the only other way I'm watching it is if I go to somebody's house who's got Starz, or if I am a bad little monkey and do naughty things to watch it.
Exactly. But we don't want to do those things because Ash vs. Evil Dead 3 almost didn't happen because Starz claims it is being, just basically downloaded to holy hell. It's just illegally downloaded, and nobody's actually supporting the channel. Obviously, there's a lot of issues because Starz is being dropped left and right by cable companies for whatever reason, and that's really playing heavily into why people are looking elsewhere to watch these things. There's all these sort of things that happen where they say call your cable company, blah blah blah, and just kind of get this channel back. But it's you're fighting with corporations, and they're looking out for their best interest, which is usually the bottom dollar, and so is Starz with their intellectual properties. So it's this massive greedy battle back and forth. But in any case, the show's back. If you have Starz, you absolutely need to support it because, like I said, season 3 almost didn't happen, and there's rumors going around that this might be the last season. Even Bruce Campbell is kind of preparing for the potential of it being a last season. He's been on record of saying that if it gets canceled, they're already looking into the ideas of making another movie based off of the renewed interest and everything. So the writing might be on the wall for this show, but if it's supported by people that can support it, or maybe you could download the episodes on iTunes, usually that happens, do it because the show's worth it, and it's fucking awesome, flat out.
Yeah, it took me a long time to finally get around to watching it, but it's definitely a very entertaining show. It's got a lot of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness aspects in it. A lot of callbacks. It's a bit more goofy than I thought it was going to be, but honestly, it kind of works because it breaks up the copious amounts of blood and gore the show has. And
they don't pull any punches there, that's for sure.
And Lucy Lawless, She's
great. But the gore, man, I know you didn't watch episode 1 of season 3, but man, did they get creative with some deaths in this episode. It was an absolute blast.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find somebody with Starz, and I'll watch it somehow.
Yeah, it's definitely worth your time. I enjoyed the episode. I checked it out, and at first I thought it was a little bit hokey because this isn't a major spoiler or anything, but after episode or season 2, Ash is back in Elk Grove, and evil is vanquished, and he is looking to take on the next step of his retirement from being the great Ash. And what does he go and do? He goes and opens a hardware store very, very fitting to say the least. But in any case, they take and do like a Crazy Eddie style TV commercial, which is completely hilarious with Bruce Campbell just really like just having a blast with what he's doing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to give in too much of the episode. Obviously, evil happens and finds its way back, and shit hits the fan in a very big way. Like I said, the first part of the episode came off a little hokey, but it was a lot of fun at the same time. And then it got right back into it, like everything that you loved about the previous 2 seasons is on full display, and they moved everything forward and made things interesting. So give it a shot if you haven't watched it yet. Even if you aren't interested in the show, fucking put it on in the background. Just give it some ratings, you know?
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to finally getting around to watching that. Hopefully I don't have to wait until it gets released on Netflix, because that's going to be a good solid year after season 3 ends.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up the season 3 on Blu-ray. So if I do, I'll pass it along.
All right. So yes, so if you guys have Stars and you haven't seen the show yet, go ahead and get on that. If you have Netflix, seasons 1 and 2 are on Netflix, so definitely check it out. Support the show. We definitely don't want it going away. I don't. I really enjoyed the show. It's a lot of fun. I binged it over a week, seasons 1 and 2, and it's a blast. If you're a fan of the Evil Dead series, you're gonna enjoy the show without a doubt. And again, Lucy Lawless.
I agree.
All right, so getting into this week's special segment, it's another entry into the convention crypt.
We need like a theme song, like a Twilight Zone type of thing.
Yeah, we do, but I don't have one, so just
a way to be on top of things, man.
I'm on top of a lot of things, just not that.
All right, next time.
Okay, so this week we decided we're gonna dive into one of our favorite and just most ridiculous memories from
this is a wild one
from Monster Mania, and it's kind of a 2-parter. So we're not doing I don't think we're doing a room memory this year, are we? Oh no, we're kind of combining it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no room memory, but this show floor memory is kind of a 2-parter, so it works. And what's great about this one is that not all of our memories happen while we're together, but at least for the bulk of this one, Mungus was with me. You know, we were together when this one event happened. So we're in the autograph room, which is like a pavilion kind of off the hotel a little bit. And it's where the bulk of the guests who are signing autographs are. And we like to just go in there and wander around and just look at the guests and just, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, he's here. I wonder what he looks like now. And we'll go over to whoever's table that is and be like, oh, he looks like shit. Or, oh, wow, looks pretty good, you know. So that's what we do. We like to kind of just stalk the guests and just see what they look like. So we happen to just be kind of just skulking around. We were probably stalking Danielle Harris, if I know us. And we happened to kind of just be in the path of Gary Busey as he was walking to his table to sit down and start signing autographs. All right, so anybody who knows Gary Busey knows Gary Busey is
he's quirky.
He's eccentric.
Yeah, he's a character.
That's one way of putting it. Let me just say this, that what you see on interviews or movies or shows with Gary Busey, yeah, that's true. That is,
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
if anybody listening is old enough to remember Life with Busey, which was a Gary Busey TV show on Comedy Central, that's how he is in real life. Not even sugarcoating it.
Agreed.
He's a nut job. But to his credit, he actually did seem pretty friendly. So how can you have a crazy story about Gary Busey? I mean, he's just crazy to begin with, right? Well, put it this way. The look I saw on his face during what I'm going to explain happened when it happened is you usually don't see crazy and insane people actually look like they're nervous or scared or confused. But I saw a look of just terror in the eyes of Gary Busey as this event happened.
Yeah, you can't really shake up the crazy usually, and when you do, you've got to be a special kind of something.
Like, let me like, all right. So if anybody has ever seen Freddy versus Jason, towards the end of the movie, when Freddy gets pulled into the real world, and he's doing battle with Jason in the real world, and he's about to kill what's her name?
I don't even know.
The white girl, the final girl, the white girl in that movie. And then he realizes that he's in the real world and Jason's right there, and he's got this just look of crazy. He got this look of crazy on his face. All right, that's what I saw in Gary Busey at this convention.
That's a hell of a way to put it, but I completely agree with you.
So Gary Busey walks by us and he's going to his table. And, we're like, oh, cool, Gary Busey. So, walks by us, he's heading to his table, and then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, about, 10 feet from where Ray and I were standing, this kid, he had to be a teenager, he had to be 15, 16 years old, maybe a little older, possibly not all there mentally.
Which is, like, the whole age thing makes me wonder what kind of parents does he have? Like, how is he so familiar with Gary Busey to react in this way?
So, Gary Busey walks by this kid, and out of nowhere, fucking, like, the entire fucking guest room just went, it didn't go silent, but you could hear people going, what the fuck? This kid, right? This teenage kid just starts going absolutely bonkers. Oh my God, Gary Busey, right? He's screaming that he couldn't believe Gary Busey just walked by him. The kid is jumping up and down, ends up fucking like falling down to the floor, screaming. Gary Busey just walked by him. He starts doing like a Three Stooges curly fucking like walking around on the ground sort of thing. Just screaming. Going on for, I don't know, had to go on for a couple minutes.
Yeah, it was like at least a solid minute. And we're veterans at these things, like we've had our fanboy moments. We basically just sit there and maybe like murmur amongst each other, like, "Oh my God, dude, look who just walked by us," or something like that. But at this point in the game, me and Bates here are professionals. Gary Busey walks between us or walks by us. We're like, that's pretty cool, interesting. And we just go back to what we were doing. We don't really look at them as if they're anybody different. So like, I remember us standing there, acknowledge the fact that crazy ass Gary Busey just walked by us, and we're like, oh, that's pretty great. Turn back to whatever the hell we were doing, and we got like the shit scared out of us by this kid flipping out.
I was legit scared. Like, this was
like I thought somebody got hurt, and like you heard stories like what's it called? Like the stabbing at Comic-Con or something. Like when you heard that initial scream, you kind of jolted. You're like, okay, who's fucking stabbing who with what katana?
Yeah, no, I was legit scared because this kid had a reaction, a fanboy reaction on a level that's almost like, oh my god, I love you, let me hug you with this knife, you know?
Seriously.
It's like, okay, this person is now capable of anything after that type of reaction. And as I said, he was screaming and going on for solid 1 to 3 minutes. And Gary is like standing there in utter disbelief at what he's seeing. Like Gary's
looking at this kid like he's Gary Busey.
Gary's looking at him like, all right, this is my gimmick, kid. Like, crazy is my thing. Stop that shit. Like I'm telling you, the look in his eyes was sheer terror and confusion mixed. It was the weirdest thing. I don't think anybody else can never say they saw Gary Busey actually fucking nervous. He was.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is no exaggeration. Like, he's looking at him like, I don't even know, to be honest. Like, I can't explain it better than Bates just did. But you could tell that glaze over in Gary Busey's eyes was pure fear.
And this kid, he had, I don't know if it was family members or friends with them, and they were like trying to pick him up off the ground and calm him down. Yeah, he wasn't having none of that. He just kept going on. I really wish I recorded it. I had something to record it with.
We even talked about that extensively. Like, we wish that, like, we had just like pulled out our cell phones, but we were just so caught up in the moment that, like, who the fuck acts like that? Like, what exactly, like,
elicits
impacted him? Yeah, what impacted him that much to lose his shit that crazily? And for Gary Busey, like, I appreciate Gary Busey and this and that, but like, I could never see myself reacting that way to the dude just walking by him.
I've never seen a reaction like that for anyone or anything. The only thing I can think of is maybe this kid like just found out from his mother that the kid's father wasn't really his father, but his father's really Gary Busey. I don't know.
Probably. The way he reacted, Jesus.
I don't know how else to explain it. I've never seen a reaction like that before. I've never seen a reaction like that again. I've never seen a guest genuinely terrified, let alone Gary Busey terrified. It's without a doubt the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen at a convention. And I've been to 35, 40 conventions plus over the years.
Usually.
So, yeah. So I didn't think that that particular weekend could get any weirder. Well, with Gary Busey in the house, never say never. Now, I think I was the only one who actually saw this take place because I happened to be down in the lobby just kind of hanging out and drinking and people watching, because people watching at Monster Mania is one of my most favorite things to do, especially toward the end of the night, 9, 10 o'clock, when the show floor and everything is closing down, the panels are all over, and people are wandering around the lobby, they're hanging out outside. People watching is great.
Yeah, I think you went down to have a cigar.
Probably have a cigar, most likely.
And I decided to hang out and watch the movie that I was watching. I was like, I'm going to sit up here, drink a few beers, and I'll be down in a little bit.
So I go down into the lobby. I'm just I'm dicking around in the lobby before I go out. And every year they change the rules when it comes to ordering food at this hotel. Some years they let the driver, the delivery guys actually go up to the room. Other years, the delivery guys call you and you have to go down to the lobby and pick up your shit. So it had to be about 10 o'clock, maybe a little later, I'm not sure. And I'm down in the lobby, I'm dicking around, and a delivery guy comes in and he's got food and he's got a tray of coffees. He had about 2 or 3 coffees on this tray. And all of a sudden, I happen to be looking over in the direction of the elevators. The elevators, there's 4 elevators. There's 2 on this side and 2 on this side, and this like little cubbied area. Well, I happened to be looking over at the elevators because I probably heard it ding, and oof, through the fog out comes Gary Busey. All right, but now it's not just any Gary Busey. This is bedtime Gary Busey. All right, this is Gary Busey, most likely naked, only wearing a robe and fuzzy slippers. Yes, fuzzy slippered Gary Busey. I saw it live in person. Now, that's a good.
Let me just note real quick that at this time of night, the convention floor, the lobby, is usually just hopping with people that are just winding down from the convention, in and out of the bar, hanging out and bullshitting about the day. It is not a desolate area. It is fucking packed.
Yeah, it's like a fucking ant farm. So, out comes bathrobed, fuzzy slippered Gary Busey. Now that is a great story all on its own, right? That's it. It's like I saw Gary Busey in a robe and slippers. Fucking he was Hugh Hefnering it up, all right? Well, the story does not end there because this is Gary Busey. Remember this.
Of course.
So he's I'm pretty sure he came down with his handler. And
probably.
Apparently, and the food, the delivery guy, the food was for Gary and his handler, and I guess maybe one or two other people that were up in their room. So Gary goes and he takes the bag, and then he takes the tray of coffees. And again, it was like 2 or 3 coffees, right? And I think he was digging in his robe for his wallet. And as he's digging in his robe, right, he's got the bag in his hand, he's got the trays in his hand, and he's digging in his robe for money to pay this guy. He starts tilting the tray of coffees toward him and doesn't realize that the coffees are spilling all over him. All over him. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this happen, and it's like a car crash, and it's like I could prevent further injury, but I don't want to.
You just have to witness it, you know. Like you had to remove yourself from the equation and just observe.
And it's like, all right, I'll pretend this is TV, and he can't hear me if I tell him that his coffee is spilling on him. Because I wanted to tell him, I wanted to be like, yo, Gary, your coffee. It's all over you, dude. But I decided that I wanted the story to continue. So he probably let this piping hot coffee spill on him for 5, 6, 7 seconds before his handler looked over at him and it was like, oh shit, and started to level out the coffees, which were probably at this point half emptied all over Gary Busey. So Gary ends up paying the guy. Like, he didn't even notice this coffee all over him. His robe is doused in coffee. It's all brown. It was a white robe. It's all brown now. There is a puddle of coffee on the floor. He doesn't even, like, acknowledge it. He grabs his food. He grabs what's left of the coffee in the tray. Just waltzes back to the elevator like nothing happened. Like, I to this day, I don't know if he got burned or if the coffee was cold. I don't get it. It was the weirdest fucking thing. But
even with like cold coffee or like room temperature coffee, you still feel wet, and that's nobody likes the feeling of wetness through clothes. You know, like there's got to be some reaction, and by the sound of it, he just went along like it was like he bought the coffee for that purpose. You know, like, oh, I just wanted to spill on me. You know, this is what I wanted.
What really baffles me is the fact that if his handler didn't tell him the coffee was spilling on him as he was digging in his pocket for his wallet or his money or whatever he was looking for, that coffee probably would have been emptied out on him completely.
Yeah, probably. And here's the thing that I'm wondering, like, being that he fucked up, did he just accept the fact that he's the one responsible for the coffee? Like he's a star, so he could have been like, yeah, even though I spilled this on myself, fucking get me new ones. I wanted coffee. I didn't want half spilled coffee. Go get me some more. No, he just accepted it and took the tray along.
I like, again, I don't know, like, how I was lucky enough to be privy to this. Just watching that was one of my all-time favorite convention memories. That is a fucking story. Like, yeah, I saw a naked Gary Busey in a bathrobe spill coffee all over himself. Can you beat that?
Yeah, I mean,
probably can't.
No, sir, you probably can't. And that's just the unpredictability of these type of conventions. You never know what you're gonna run into. You like go into these things to have fun, maybe meet a couple people, and you end up seeing Gary Busey spill coffee all over himself, or Angus Scrim wander around, or take an elevator ride with Roddy Piper. You know, we'll talk about that on another episode. But you know, like, you go for the autographs and buying shit, but you live for those experiences, and no scribble on a piece of paper is ever going to top an experience like watching Gary Busey in a bathrobe spill coffee all over himself.
Yeah, and the elevators are actually the place in these conventions where you see the most guests. If you ride the elevator 10 to 15 times at one of these conventions, I guarantee you're going to be stuck in the elevator with at least 2 or 3 of the guests. And
yeah, especially if they're not the ones that basically claim an entire elevator for themselves and, you know, don't ride the elevators with the cretins. They're ones that just wander around and just ride and enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, and there are some guests who will actually like interact with you while you're on the elevator. They'll fuck with you. I've been on the elevator and had some of the guests, you know, just kind of they'll fuck with the people on the elevators. That's a lot of fun. You know, it all depends on who the guest is. Real quick, another one of my really favorite memories. This wasn't from Monster Mania. This was from.
We should save the elevator stories for like next week.
Yeah, I don't have another elevator story at the moment, but
okay.
I believe it was actually at a Chiller Theater. I was waiting in line to get inside, and a limo pulled up. And usually when the limos pull up, that's, you know, one of the guests. And out of the limo pops RVD, Rob Van Dam. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know who Rob Van Dam is. And so he was obviously at the convention all weekend. And he goes and he grabs his suitcase out of the limo. And there were a bunch of us outside waiting in line to get into the convention. And, you know, people saw him and were starting to cheer. And, you know, he was walking up to the front door and people were cheering, and he stops and he does his RVD thing. And then he decided to turn around, not go inside the hotel, and then just decided to go up and down the line and talk and interact with all the fans standing in line. Cause like, he's just that cool of a guy. That's just something awesome. It's just one of those awesome memories that you can only get at these type of conventions.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people look at these conventions like, oh, you go there, you pay money for autographs and blah blah blah. But these people, they do that because they're not working as much, you know, these days, and they try to make it special for everybody that like they're passionate about the things that they've done. The people that are passionate about just going and meeting and having the opportunity to say hello to. So a lot of these people, they go the extra mile and give the fans, you know, a little something special and make it known that it's appreciated that you know, you've come out to see them, which is great.
Yeah, and you're only going to get that at the like non-big Comic-Con conventions, right? You're not going to get that kind of treatment from the guest over at fucking San Diego or New York Comic-Con or Chicago Comic-Con or any big city Comic-Con. It's these
sometimes though, you know, I've heard stories of like what was it? I forget who, but so it was fucking J.J. Abrams at Comic-Con the year they were going to do the trailer for The Force Awakens. All the people that were waiting at Hall C or whatever hall it is, J.J. Abrams bought everybody pizza, which is like, holy shit, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, typically, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's on a very. It definitely doesn't happen as often.
Those
at the bigger conventions.
Yeah, those intimate events with guests don't typically happen.
Yeah, so if you get a local convention or there's something like traveling distance at a local city or something like that, try to hit up one of these conventions, because they're great. Like you got Horror Hound, you have Texas Frightmare, Monster Mania. What's the one up in Massachusetts?
Rock and Shock.
Rock and Shock.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just look them up and go to some of these things because you're gonna have a blast and years worth of memories.
All right, guys. So moving on from convention stories and into this week's Pressure Rising segment.
Yes. We're mad. Why are we mad? Well, talking this week, some crazy ass shit happened, and I believe it was, Sunday night? Any case.
Look at you talking over the bumper, you dick.
Oh, I didn't know. I forgot about the bumper.
You dick.
See, here's the problem. I don't hear the bumper on my end.
Yeah, I know.
You need to give me like which bumpers we have so I don't ramble.
I have bumpers for everything: horror, Pressure Rising, and the Comic Geek News.
All right. Well, I'll let you set it up then. Now that I done fucked it up.
Yeah. You're getting as bad as LR with trying to transition stuff.
Yeah, you know what, man? Like, here's the thing. You got quiet for a second there, and I was like, okay, I guess he's gonna shoot this one off to me. Well, let me try to do this. And you weren't responding, so I was like, oh fuck, did he go get a beer?
No, but I should. But anyway, so now that Ray ruined the bumper.
Yes.
Pressure Rising segment this week. We are going to talk about death and how Kevin Smith said "fuck you" to it.
Pretty much, man. Again, what was it? Sunday night that this happened. Apparently, right after or during the first show where he was filming a special, he was basically doing 2 nights at I forget which location, but in any case, he was doing 2 nights of stand-up Q&A, this and that, and it was going to be used for a upcoming comedy special. So while he was performing the first of the 2 shows, he started to feel relatively ill, nauseous, and I don't know if he finished the first show or not, but I do know that once he was backstage, he vomited, and the nausea continued, and his chest got very, very tight. And apparently, he suffered a massive heart attack, and the news kind of like fucking hit the web early Monday morning, and everybody was just like, Jesus Christ. Thankfully, the news hit from Kevin Smith himself. He posted a photo from the hospital and basically revealed he actually had this to say. After the first show this evening, I had a massive heart attack. The doctor saved my life, told me I had 100% blockage of my LAD artery, aka the Widowmaker. If I hadn't canceled show 2 to go to the hospital, I would have died tonight, but for now, I'm still above ground. As a massive fan of Kevin Smith, I don't want to wake up to read that shit.
Yeah, I mean, nobody does. I'm not the biggest Kevin Smith fan, admittedly. I do love Mallrats. I enjoyed Dogma. I love Clerks 2. I did not like Clerks 1, but I loved Clerks 2. So I don't hate the guy. I'm just not an overly big fan. But even with the things that he does for geek culture in general, I think he's an important staple in the community, and at least some respect, has to be given to him. Whether you like his movies or not, he really pushes and has been pushing this stuff for the entirety of his career. He's as passionate about comic books and horror movies and things like that as much as us fans are, and he makes sure that he does his part at the very least to push it into the mainstream however he can, whether it be in his movies referencing King Diamond in dialogue, or referencing various horror movies, throwing back to him. Like I believe in Zack and Miri, he made a hockey team called the Monroeville Zombies, which is
a throwback to George Romero. You know, like he is a big of a fan, and he injects all this stuff into his work in the way that like fans like what we're doing. We're doing a podcast where we're talking about horror and geek news. We're doing a similar situation, and you know, I think he's the inspiration for a lot of people to take this route. So you know, what he contributes is valuable in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. He's a big supporter of comics, comic movies, comic culture, comic TV shows, all that stuff. I mean, he even directs episodes for some of DC's TV shows. So when it comes to just geek culture in general, he's a big supporter and advocate for it. So just on that fact alone, it's hard not to feel for the guy, especially after having such a serious heart attack that, you know, had he not been at the hospital, could have possibly killed him at this point.
Yeah, and just, you know, like you hear, if you're like a fan of his stuff, you pretty much know that he is on constant go mode. Everybody says, "Oh, Kevin Smith smokes too much weed," blah blah blah. But like, if you see how much output that he has, whether it be live shows, podcasting, film work, and things like that, it is like insane what this guy does. Especially inebriated, like people like to criticize him for. And it just sucks to see like a guy like that who's constantly moving forward slam into a brick wall and have it almost kill him, which, holy shit. You know, like I was at my first day of training with work, and you know, of course, I look in our chat, Bates writes Kevin Smith has massive heart attack, and I immediately, like, my heart sinks because he's been such an inspiration for me over the years. And I pretty much thought he was dead, you know, at that point, but thankfully, you know, when I looked it up, it was, you know, the news broke from Kevin Smith, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, and another reason why I feel for him, it's just he is a fellow Jersey boy, so you know, it's got that
exactly.
going.
There's so many similarities between Kevin Smith and the people that we are. Like you could see the Jersey in him as he talks, and like I'm listening to his podcast and I listen to some of the shit that he's done over the years or stuff that he's done growing up and things like that. And it's just, it kind of mirrors the Jersey lifestyle, you know, like growing up in the state, you know, and the similarities between like Bates and I and the friendships that we have and such reminds me very much of him growing up wanting to make movies and fucking hanging out with Jay and everybody that you see in his movies. And it's really, it hits very, very close to home, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I like to put it in a bit more perspective on the Jersey side of it. I mean, he filmed the Mallrats 30 minutes from us at the Menlo Park Mall, a mall I've been to many times. So, you know, and born and bred Jersey boy. So I like to kind of wish my own good, you know, like I want my people to be good, you know, and that does not include them Jersey Shore assholes, because they're not from New Jersey.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for me personally, Kevin Smith is kind of like the reason I wanted to get into filmmaking, and definitely the reason that I wanted to just shoot the shit with my friends in podcasting. You know, like when it comes to film, you know, like he's the type of guy that, you know, he basically made Clerks for $27,000, something like that. He maxed out a bunch of credit cards, and he had a dream, he had a great idea, and he went with it, you know, and he showed that you don't have to be some fucking connected Hollywood asshole to really make it. You just need an interesting story, interesting perspective, and the heart to do it. And, you know, he fucking, you know, defied all the odds, and here he is many, many years later, still working in a variety of avenues, and it gives people like me hope that, hey, if we put in the work and we hit the pavement, you know, just a little effort and a lot of passion, it's going to go a long way. And I think I think that whole mantra or whatever you want to call it, it pretty much rings true with what we're doing every week here, what we're doing twice a month with Metal Beer Horror, and the little short films whenever I get around to making them. Like there's always that passion, that Kevin Smith like drive that makes us get to that point of succeeding in what we're trying to do.
Yeah, he was a shining example of just don't give up on your shit, because anything could happen. If you need a more recent example, Adam Green, exact same story. Very passionate about what he wanted to do. Guess what? Finally happened for him. Now he's one of the biggest names in horror. So
yeah, it's great, and that's all it takes is a little bit of a lot of passion and a little bit of heart, and you get there. And a lot of patience. But I just want to like backtrack a little bit. Smith is still doing this, like it sounds like we're eulogizing him, but we're not. It's just we want to show the impact that he's had on the culture. He's had on inspiring us, and at least on my side of the table. And he's a very important voice, in my opinion, and I'm glad that it's still with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good that he seems to be okay. He's pulling through. So
yeah, I just read that he's home, and he is committing to a vegan lifestyle. So good for him. Like let him keep on improving his health and doing what he has to do to keep with us and making more movies.
Yeah, he's gonna wish he had died in about a week.
That's true, but you know what though, man? After knocking on death's door like that, I'm sure the perspective changes vastly.
Yeah, no. If you know what I like to do when I meet a vegan, like that I know or that I'm acquaintance with or a friend with, you know what I like to do? I like to just take a big block of cheese and just start nomming on it in front of him.
You know what? I think he's actually vegetarian. I mixed that up. But in any case,
right. Vegetarians are alright. They can still eat cheese. Now I'm a carnivore, fucking through and through. I'll nom on shit raw. I don't care. In fact, I prefer like my steaks as bloody and mooing as possible. But like I could survive for a little while without meats as long as I have cheese. I need cheese. I'm Italian. I need fucking cheese. When I meet somebody who goes, "Oh, I'm vegan," and it means they don't eat cheese, I don't fucking trust them. I do not trust anyone who does not enjoy cheese. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm a cheese connoisseur myself. I happen to enjoy it greatly, so it's all good.
So, yeah, don't come up to me and tell me you don't eat cheese. We're going to have a problem. Alright, so that's it for my cheese rant.
Only us could go from kind of like a shining, touching moment on Kevin Smith's contributions to everything and rant about cheese after. So,
but hey, you're the one saying he was going to be a vegan, and then that triggered.
That was my mistake. I meant vegetarian, but it came out vegan. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, vegans trigger me. I'm sorry. I don't know how anyone can survive on the shit that they eat. But whatever, they seem to be happy. I actually know a couple vegans, like, and they're bigger, they're plus size people, and they've been vegans for years. Man, they don't lose no weight. Tell you what, vegans must be eating a lot of goddamn carbs, because they do not. It does not make you lose weight.
Well, I think Kevin Smith personally, he cut down quite a bit on the weight.
Yeah,
he's getting back into Silent Bob shape because they're supposed to be doing Jay and Silent Bob reboot summer next fall, something like that.
Yeah,
it was originally supposed to be now, but like it got pushed.
Yeah, he's lost a ton of weight. I mean, he's probably gone down anywhere from 40 to 60 plus pounds
easily, and that's what fucking bothers me. Like he fucking made this vast lifestyle change and everything like that, and his body still gave up on him. And it's like, fuck, dude. Like, what did he do it for? It really sucks.
Yeah, well, you know what? It seems like they caught it, and it seems like he'll be all right. He'll probably be on like an aspirin regimen now and be all good.
Yeah, definitely. You know, hopefully he gets better soon, and I'm glad that he made it.
All right. So, yeah, pretty much we're happy that he pulled through and hope he has a speedy recovery and then is back on it. You know, I'm sure he's back on his feet now, but back on his feet 100% going back to his shows and his projects. You know, don't want him to fall too far behind on this stuff. As I said, I'm not a big fan of his, but I'm still like anxiously awaiting for fucking Clerks 3. All right, get on that shit. You beat the heart attack. Good job. Clerks 3, do it.
I echo those sentiments, and you know, now he's gonna have something interesting to inject from his life into his story. So, you know, that's gonna be interesting. And being that Clerks is his passion project, it's this thing that got him where he is. I have no doubt in my mind that he's gonna go back to Clerks 3 and rewrite it with something similar in mind, based off of what just happened.
All right. So, moving on to our comic and geek news for this week. Shut up for a second. Don't fucking ruin the bumper again. Good job. All right.
Thank you. I fuck up once, and I'm never gonna live it down.
You don't realize I'm gonna be calling you out before I play the bumper for like the next 2 months. So
all right, I earned it. I'll accept it.
All right, so we got a couple little bits of news in the comic world. Stan Lee reveals battle with pneumonia. So that's kind of scary. You know,
Yeah.
Stan the Man is what, 95, 96?
I think 95.
All right, and you get pneumonia at 95. You get pneumonia in your 90s. It's nearly a death sentence.
Don't say that. Don't. I mean, I just got through the Kevin Smith stuff this week, and watching the video that he posted online, like, you could hear that he's suffering a bit, and you know, it kind of broke my heart a little bit, especially on the heels of Kevin Smith.
Well, at this point, I think he's gotten through the worst of the pneumonia, and I think he'll bounce back. I mean, he must have some fucking Wolverine-like, regeneration and recovering abilities and shit. Healing factor.
To say the least.
But I think he's probably through the worst of this battle with pneumonia. But he might not be 100% for a while. But I think he'll be all right. But again, the dude, you got to realize he's 95. He's way past the average life expectancy for a male.
I love how you look at this so clinically. Like, I'm looking at it from a very passionate and fan appreciation sort of perspective, and you're just like, well, he's exceeded life expectancy, so he's a goner. Or, it's good. You know, like, he had a good run. It's all good.
Listen, man, if I can live to 95, I'll be very happy, but I plan on outliving everybody. Yeah, no, I'm probably going to die at like 50.
Yeah, you're done for. Hopefully you don't die after this episode. I'm going to have to find a new host.
I figure by the time I start getting really old, if I'm still alive and kicking, they're going to have some fucking crazy ways to extend life. I don't know. I don't like thinking about death. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it bugs me too. And that was the weird thing. Not to get too far backtrack, but you know, like Kevin Smith's full thing that he wrote after the fact, like he said that he always feared death, and it was like the one thing that he just never wanted to go and experience, especially after seeing how his father died to a heart attack as well. And he had this like weird Zen-like thing to say, like, you know, I had a great career and stuff, and at the moment where I was pretty much knocking on death's door, like, I was okay with it. Like, he had this like realization that like he had a good run, and if that's what, you know, it was intended, he was willing to accept it. And I don't know, you know, that rubbed me not the wrong way, but it felt weird.
Yeah, I basically, if especially with these older celebrities, it's scary when you hear they have a sickness or an ailment, but when they're starting to pull through, it's it warms you in the cockles of your heart, and
What way to put it?
I'm happy Stan. I'm at least I think he's through the worst of it. So as long as he doesn't have some type of relapse with it, I think he'll be all right. But not to sound too morbid or just rude, but if the dude ends up passing in the next few weeks, I'm ready. We're at the point in his life where anytime you see his name pop up in a social media feed or a news article or anything, you automatically assume the worst.
Yeah, my heart always sinks when I scroll on Twitter and I see Stan Lee's picture, and I'm just like, oh no, oh wait, he's doing a charity. Okay, good.
Yeah, no, it was like that for the longest time. It's still it's still like that with Stan Lee. It's been like that for a long time with Stan Lee. It was like that for Ramiro. And then eventually, we got that we got that news in one of our feeds and timelines and stuff that Ramiro finally passed. When eventually these people get to a certain age, and then you get yourself ready for it. You prepare yourself. And I'm prepared for when Stan passes. I'm not gonna be happy about it. I'm not gonna take it lying down. It's probably gonna be one of the harder deaths for me to deal with. There's been a few that have really hit me hard in the last 10 plus years. Dio and Dusty Rhodes, when they died, I was in tears. And I would Stan Lee is gonna be another one when he finally does move on to Valhalla. I'll be in tears.
Move on to Asgard.
Well, Asgard is a tangible place. Valhalla is.
Oh, fuck off. I was trying to make it semi-relevant.
Well, it is. Technically, it's in the same lore.
Yeah, I guess. Fuck it. I wanted to fucking inject Thor in there. Leave me alone.
Valhalla is part of the Thor mythology.
Alright, moving along.
God, you noob. Anyway, so
obviously.
So we continue to wish Stanley a speedy recovery and hope he's all right. On to the next bit of comic news. So the X-Force movie is confirmed to start production this October. I'm
Finally
not gonna hold my breath because if this Fox acquisition goes through with Marvel and Disney, all of these Fox X-Men movies are going to get either stopped completely or scrapped completely or shelved. So, I mean, that merger could go through, or acquisition rather, not a merger, it's an acquisition, could go through well before October. And at that point, I would not expect this movie to happen.
I'm reading that merger is not going to happen until 2 years from now.
Well, I guess it's possible. They're going to have to go through a lot of legalities and probably jump through a couple hoops. Because it could be considered a monopoly, them buying out another massive movie studio and all these properties. Like right now, AT&T was in the process of acquiring Time Warner which is WB and DC. Well, that may not happen because they're calling it a possible monopoly, and there are actually rumors about
Comcast.
Well, no. If that acquisition doesn't go through, that WB and DC could end up being split up and sold to different studios and companies.
That's interesting. There's some rumblings about Comcast trying to one up Disney to buy Fox, but if they're if they're in this like weird government monopoly type of thing right now, like if they try to make a move on another company, I don't think it's going to bode very well. Um, and also for Disney to buy just the Fox's film rights and things, it's not like they're trying to monopolize like something like a cable providers and stuff. And that I can understand where that's coming into play, and the government's trying to step in like, okay, now you're just buying multiple cable providers and trying to control the playing field. Whereas, you know, the Fox thing, they're basically doing it to bolster their library a little bit and obviously get the intellectual properties for their cinematic universe. So I think this deal will go through. It's just a matter of when, and these things take forever to go through.
Yeah, it's there are so many hoops to jump through and so many legalities with big acquisitions like this. So it's a lot of the times it's up in the air until it actually happens.
Yeah, and the only reason I think that X-Force is actually gonna like get the trigger pulled, if you see in the trailer for Deadpool 2, they've got a couple shots where they have some X-Force members like basically hanging out and like teamed up with Deadpool. So I think that Deadpool 2 is essentially going to set up X-Force, whether it be part of the main story or in a bigger fashion in one of the post-credits teasers.
Well, I guess we'll see. I think an X-Force movie would be a lot of fun. Uh, Definitely an opportunity to introduce a couple of really cool characters.
And also finally get away from this need to have the main X-Men being the only story being told right now. You know, like I'm getting tired of seeing Jennifer Lawrence lead an X-Men team, you know, in the First Class mythology or Days of Future Past lore and everything like that. I'm getting tired of them rehashing Dark Phoenix and all these other things. Not to say these movies haven't been like a lot of fun, but I think it's time for them to put another team into play and start at the bottom again and work your way up back to stardom. Let's get our next Hugh Jackman. Like let's get some new stars out there in the playing field. Scrap Cyclops, scrap all these guys for the time being, and let's focus on the other properties.
Yeah, definitely could not have addressed it any better. It's they're rehashing too. They it feels like they've run out of stories over at over at Fox with these X-Men movies. It's there's so many great villains and so many great storylines, and yet they kind of feel like they're covering the same thing every movie.
Yeah, it's like they decided to get a little bit I guess like they decided to take some chances with Days of Future Past, with First Class. And then they're like, okay, those are successful, but we're still afraid to go into the deep end. So we're just gonna hang in the shallow end for a bit. And I think the fact that they're playing it safe with like Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix saga again, it shows that they're like, okay, we had a little success, but let's keep doing with what worked and not trying anything new. And I think that's going to be the downfall of the X-Men universe, but the X-Force like starting up, I think that is going to be the next step forward, right next to New Mutants.
I guess only time will tell at this point. So I guess we'll have to wait until October to see if production really starts. Well, you know what? We'll have a better idea come the summer once casting starts.
Definitely.
So moving on. All right. We cannot stay on this one too long because it's going to anger me.
Anger you? I thought you'd be excited about this one.
Silver Surfer movie currently in development at Fox. Stop it. Stop, Fox. You stop it. No. No. Don't do it. Stop it. You put down that pen and you stop writing this and just no. I'm not gonna let you ruin my favorite character. All right. Thankfully, in that awful Fantastic Four movie, you actually did a halfway decent job with the character of the Silver Surfer, but you shoved him in a shit movie, so that didn't help. Just no. No. I know it may sound like a good idea, but no. You wait until he goes home to Marvel, and you let them do it. No. Unless you're getting, Kevin Feige up in there, and he's gonna, guide you. He's gonna guide your hand and tell you how this really should work and supervise you guys, because you fucking need supervision when writing this shit. All right. Unless he's up in there, no. I'm not gonna tell you again. Do not fucking do it. You're not ruining this character. All right. You don't have enough cosmic characters right now to really support a Silver Surfer movie on his own. So no. Done. I'm not saying anything more on this because I'm going to start throwing stuff.
Well, they did tap a writer that's known for Lost, Under the Dome, and Daredevil for Netflix's Daredevil. So I mean, he also did a couple episodes of Runaways from what I'm reading, but from what I understand, he's a decent writer. So we'll see how it goes.
No.
No. Moving on.
Joss Whedon exits Batgirl movie and then pretty much comes out and says, yeah, I really didn't have a story anyway.
I think that is the politically correct way of saying that creative differences, maybe the safer way to say that. Why does Joss Whedon not have a story for a character like Batgirl? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah, and the rumors that were floating around about the storyline he wanted to adapt, it was a weird one. Definitely not the story everyone thought he was gonna try to use, but I guess it doesn't matter now.
No, definitely not. Joss Whedon is a writer at heart. He's written some amazing stuff over the years. He's brought shows and movies alike to the big screen in ways that like you couldn't even fathom. Like his production is incredible. So for him to come out and say, "Oh, I don't have a story," or "I wasn't able to bang out a story for it," is very peculiar. And to me, like I said before, it just screams that him in the studio were probably clashing heads, and he walked. There's a lot of rumors that like Zack Snyder got fired off of Justice League, and things like that. So it would not surprise me if he just decided to take the high road and say, like, I left the project because of this, and this way he stays in the good graces of the company. And if they want to give him money for a different movie down the road, the doors remain open. But for now, it remains like very out of the blue and peculiar, and I don't know what to make of it.
With the disarray the DC movie universe is in right now, I don't think it's wise to bring in a solo extended Bat family character into the movie verse right now, especially Batgirl. I mean, if you're gonna do any movie in that general area, it's got to be obviously a Nightwing movie. Batgirl would be pretty far down the line, because you could also do a Robin movie from a different person playing Robin. Because who is Nightwing? Is that Jason Todd?
No, I think that's Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson, you're right. It is Dick Grayson. So I mean, you could do a Nightwing movie with Grayson, and maybe do a Robin movie with Jason Todd, or the.
If they were smart, they would do a Red Hood movie.
Yeah, it's like there are many different characters they could do before Batgirl.
But on the same token, after Wonder Woman, Batgirl would be the next logical way to go. And being that she hasn't really been represented well at all in any of the movies, I think like somebody like Joss Whedon could have really brought her to the forefront, and made it into something.
No, I think there's other female characters they could do before Batgirl. They could do.
But let me say this: are they as recognizable as Batgirl or Wonder Woman? That's the thing you got to keep in mind, because they're also in the business of making money.
I agree. Well, they don't do a very good job of that to begin with. All right, so that's
so
fuck
though.
So fuck that point, because that ain't gonna help your argument. All right. So that's a moot fucking point. But
it's not.
It is a moot point. They don't make shit. All right.
But that's the thing. They want to make shit, and you don't take a third generation or like a C grade character and say, okay, let's like a C grade character like Shazam and hope you're going to make all the fucking money. You take something that's recognizable. Batman is something they've been beating into the ground for Lord knows how long. How many origin movies and side movies and different universe movies are they going to make using Batman? So the next logical step would be name recognition with Batgirl, and on the heels of Wonder Woman's success and everything, I think a Batgirl movie would totally work. But if you sit there and play flip-flop with it and say, oh, well, it's not on our priority list, or we're going to, clash heads with a great writer who basically fucking launched the MCU into what it is now, and the project, like, you don't have your fucking priorities straight. It continues to show that Warner Brothers doesn't know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to this universe.
All right, so you brought up name recognition. People have Batman fatigue right now. All right,
correct.
Let's not give them. All right, well they have Batman fatigue, so let's give them Batgirl. It's not Batman.
Yes, and it worked with Wonder Woman. With Wonder Woman being so fucking prominent out there, I think that would be a great step in towards the that audience. Not only just a female audience, but also the male audience that are like, hey, we want some fucking chick heroes because they're fucking badass. Like what Black Panther's reactions, like across the board, male, female, didn't matter who. They said that fucking Black Panther's female characters are the strongest in that movie. Like the craving for female characters is out there, and I say run with it while it is.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. I agree. More female, superhero movies are great. I just think Batgirl is the wrong decision. They could easily adapt Power Girl.
I'll accept that. I like that.
Raven, Starfire. Raven and Starfire are easily more recognizable than Batgirl because of Teen Titans.
That's a good point.
Personally, if I had to pick, and I am not a DC fan at all, but personally, if I had to pick, I would love to see a Hawkman and Hawkgirl movie.
After what they did on Legends of Tomorrow, I'm done with Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Thankfully, I don't watch that garbage, so...
It's a great show, don't get me wrong. It's just that storyline lasted a little too long in the first season.
There are other female characters they could use. They don't have to keep dipping into the bat pool.
I totally agree with you on that. I'm just intrigued to see what a Batgirl movie would look like. From the ones that you named, Power Girl would be the next logical choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I really can't even think. Out of the ones I named, I can't even think of any other female DC characters.
See, it's this point where like you're wondering exactly where they could go, and when the main most recognizable names aren't fucking hitting home runs, you wonder what exactly they expect out of movies like Shazam. You know what I mean? Like what are they going to be doing when that movie falls flat? Marvel could get away with it. The Marvel could sit there and throw a character comic um, property that nobody's touched in years and make like millions with it. Why? Because they fucking paid their dues, and DC tried to cut corners with it, and I think we're still at that point where they have to go back and pay those dues. I don't know if the answer is to go back and do it with the characters in the Justice League or just wipe the slate clean and start over. They just the decisions this company continues to make baffle me. Like, you know, you brought up Nightwing, and that seems to not be on the forefront of their priority list. Same with what the hell is the other one? Flashpoint. Flashpoint's been fucking getting a revolving door of directors, and the most recent team that they brought on for the writing duties were rumored to be directing it as well. But from what I hear, nothing is signed yet. So it's just like they have no idea what they're doing over there.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of spiteful bastard who would love Marvel at this point because it seems like they can do no wrong, and they have a lot of disposable income. You would think at this point, I would love for them to just really stick it to DC and be like, you know what, fuck this. We're gonna make a Howard the Duck movie, and we're gonna watch it make more money than Justice League. Because it would. Man. It would. At this point, it doesn't matter what character. They could make a Squirrel Girl movie, which I would fucking absolutely go apeshit over. Yep. It's good. It's good enough. Yeah, it's good and it's awesome enough. We're getting Squirrel Girl live action anyway in the New Warriors TV show, and they actually. I don't want to get into that, but they casted her so well, I think. But it doesn't matter who they decide to make a movie for next. They seem to be able to cast so perfectly and get the right writers and the right directors to tackle these projects. Now, they've had a couple of missteps, but even their worst missteps are still somehow successful. But, you know, if that makes sense, you know, when you talk about missteps, you talk about Thor 2, The Dark World, and The Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, which I honestly I didn't hate. I love Iron Man 3. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Same here. that whole debate was so misguided, in my opinion.
It's like
we're not going to get into that too much.
No, you know what? To put it bluntly, those people were mad that they got fucking tricked the entire movie. That the rug got pulled out from underneath them. They got fucking hornswoggled, and now they're mad and they hate the movie because of it.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk about their couple of missteps, and the Incredible Hulk is definitely their biggest misstep. I don't think they made any money in that movie. They probably lost money. Movie still is pretty highly rated. It just didn't do very well at the box office. I think that's because people didn't know that it was tied into the universe because the MCU wasn't really a thing at that point, and fans still kind of had a bad taste in their mouth after Ang Lee's Hulk. So it's kind of forgivable because honestly, the Incredible Hulk movie, it's a good movie. Not great, but it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it.
But it was just the timing was a little weird for it. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew if it was really a sequel to Ang Lee's Hulk or what. But, you know, obviously then we kind of found out that it was sort of its own thing in a way and then tied into Iron Man. But at the end of the day, you know, look at what Marvel did with Ant-Man. I mean, Ant-Man's a fucking C-level character, and you know, his movie was massively successful. It's getting a sequel that looks unbelievably amazing, and I'm gonna just fucking spread my fanboyism for Ant-Man as much as I can.
Naturally.
Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. Who the fuck heard about, aside from comic fans like, myself and Mungus, who the fuck knew about Guardians of the Galaxy? They were a comic from the 70s that wasn't overly popular, and then it was a new team brought in the 2000s, and again, it wasn't, and the comic series was very popular, but these aren't characters that the Gen Pop are familiar with, and they turned it into the biggest franchise Marvel has right now. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what we're talking. Oh, so it's basically like Marvel has found their formula for making this shit work, and they're able to take these chances. Doing a Batgirl movie right now is not a chance that DC can afford to take. DC lost a lot of money on Justice League, despite what some really rabid fanboys might say. Do the math, guys. They lost money, well over $100 million. Taking chances is not what they should be doing right now. They need to focus on course correcting their fucked up universe, because they're apparently not giving up. I mean, their ship is fucking capsized. It's bobbing up and down in the water. It's fucking. The lifeboats are almost all gone. But they don't want to call time of death yet. They want to try to course correct, and they honestly could. A Flashpoint movie done right could fix everything.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It could potentially have the Days of Future Past secret to making all the wrongs right. So, I really hope that they take that route, and that's the next logical step. We have Aquaman on the way. Yeah. And who knows what that's going to happen. I trust James Wan, but I don't trust Warner Brothers. So, I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you guys want to go enjoy the Aqua Rock movie,
oh man. Quickly before we wrap up, I just noticed an article that Variety is currently reporting that Kristen Wiig is going to be playing Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier. That's a interesting choice of characters.
Yeah, I really like Kristen Wiig, but I'm not exactly sure. Like, does she have the ability to play Cheetah in a Kristen Wiig sort of way? That's the best way to put it.
All right, so what I think they might be trying to do there, because Kristen Wiig has got a very unique acting style and a very unique brand of humor. And I'm wondering if DC saw Thor Ragnarok and it was like, whoa, these people are loving Jeff Goldblum's character. Maybe we need to do that with our next villain.
That's a good point.
And it's maybe that's what they're trying to do. But the thing is that the character of the Grand Master that Jeff Goldblum played was never a very physical character. He was always just kind of pulling strings in the background, and that's what he did in the movie, but they just changed his personality. Cheetah is way more of a physical character, and it's going to be a very interesting portrayal for somebody with Kristen Wiig's acting style.
But I will say this, though. A lot of these actors often get pigeonholed into movies that like that they're kind of expected to play. Like when Kristen Wiig is cast in the remake of Ghostbusters, I immediately knew the character that she was going to play because it was a comedy. It was going to be primarily, improv, a lot of the dialogue and things like that. And I knew the type of character she was going to ultimately be. But they're not often let off the leash. And I think there's still potential with Kristen Wiig to show her true acting chops given an opportunity. And I think this role might be her platform to say, hey, I could do more than what everybody knows me to be. And if that turns out to be the case, we're in for an interesting treat, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very odd casting choice. It's I guess hopefully the script is good. I'm going to assume that they're going to change Cheetah's personality a little bit to fit Kristen Wiig a bit more. But I mean, I could be wrong. I didn't think Wonder Woman was all that special of a movie. I thought it was, because every other DC movie up until this one was absolute dog shit. This one is just like not absolute dog shit, so it got a crazy amount of praise.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I liked the backstory. I liked all that. And the fact that it felt like they actually put a proper creative team behind it. I think that was the breath of fresh air that everybody was excited about.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not be biased as a Marvel guy. As I said, I watched it. It's not bad. I mean, I could sit down and watch it. I can't, in any kind of healthy sense, sit down and watch any other DC movie. They hurt me. I still haven't seen Justice League. I don't know if I can do it. Batman vs Superman took multiple attempts for me to get through it because I fell asleep multiple times, and Jesse Eisenberg was just way too creepy. Batman was just a psychopath idiot.
Let's do something interesting here. We have some DC episodes from our earliest podcast. You should definitely go back and listen to those because we've tread this ground before quite a bit. Sometimes we spent like an hour on the topic, so I want to cut him off at Batman vs Superman before we turn this into a third hour.
All right, I got you. I see what you're doing.
Plus, check out some of our old stuff. If you haven't listened to it yet, definitely do it. We're way less professional than we are now.
Right on. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. Next week, we will be back. That will be 2 days before we go to Monster Mania. We're trying to work on some stuff to do possibly live at Monster Mania. We're not sure yet. Not sure, but we'll see.
And if not live, we're going to definitely do some pre-recorded stuff to put up on the channel for you guys to check out.
Yes. I need to do some testing with my phone to see if I can actually live broadcast from my phone on my account. And if so, then there will be some live streams from my personal YouTube account over on Live Deliciously in Game. And I'll probably be doing a test sometime this week just to make sure I can go live with it. So keep an eye out for that. I'll keep everyone updated on Twitter about it. You can follow me on Twitter at Bates_MotelMT. You can also find me writing stuff over on deadentertainment.com. I just finally released a Child's Play piece I've been working on for a while. I actually am not super happy with it. There's actually a lot more I really wanted to cover and articulate, but I was just spending way too long on it and needed to just kind of finish it and get it out there. It's obviously I don't hate it, but it's maybe one day in a year or two I will revisit it and finish it the way I want to, because I'll have a lot more to work with at that point. But go give it a read. It's a really good read over on deadentertainment.com. Shameless plug for my own article.
Yeah, seriously, you've written some great stuff, so no doubt, go look it up.
So yes, got that. Shout outs to our friends over at Fright Rags and Gray Matter Art. We will be seeing them next weekend over at Monster Mania. As long as they got a table, I hope they did. I know a lot of the usual and regular vendors did not get tables this year. So there is a strong possibility we will not be seeing them, but we hope to, because we always love seeing them, and we really would love to do some vendor interviews. So shout out to them again, the Fright Rags and Gray Matter Art. And then my usual Twitter shout outs, Freddy in Space, Jonathan Barkin, these are great writers, Max Fisher and Kim Fall, Horror Movie BBQ, Dinosaur Dracula, and my buddy Matt Yokai. And finally, as usual, my buddy over on Twitch, Tartalov, who streams midday from Sweden. Right now, he is playing Demon Souls, I think. So go check him out over on Twitch. What do you got?
I want to give a shout out to the Advil Company for keeping my body working this week, and my bed for being comfortable. I can't wait to see you in a couple minutes. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's how I feel, man.
Oh, and I would be remiss to say, if I didn't bring up Yankee Candle. I'm still waiting, man. Every week.
You know what? Yankee Candle, I'm willing to take a job. I don't want to be doing this soul-crushing work anymore. I will plug the shit out of you however you want me to. So just hook me up.
Waiting for your call, Yankee Candle. It's all good. All right, so that is it for us. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget, released this week will be episode 2 of Metal Beer Horror. We are looking to drop that on Friday. I'm just waiting for one more graphic for the video, and it is good to go. It is all edited, ready to be uploaded. So keep an eye out for that. Friday, probably either real early Friday morning or Friday afternoon sometime. I don't know. I let Mungus over here decide when he wants to publish it.
Yeah, the episode's probably going to be up possibly tomorrow night, like after midnight. But we're going to have the write-up and everything like that at deadentertainment.com. We obviously cross-post all of our stuff, and an easy way to check out new episodes is either on our YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe here, or go to deadentertainment.com every Friday for Way of Life Live, and every other Friday for Metal Beer Horror.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate it as always. Quick shout out to Chris Harris, who joins us every week in stream like clockwork. One of our...
We really need to get him on the show one of these days. Just have him as a guest and bullshit with him.
Yeah, he is one of our earliest supporters, and he's here every week, and we appreciate it so much. So we felt it was definitely about time to really give him a good and proper shout out. So thank you, Chris, for your continued support for what we're doing over here. Appreciate it so much.
You're the man.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We will see you all next week. And remember.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.